Before we start, we seek prayers, blessings from our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya. Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhakti Vedanta. Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve. Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. Pachatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Prabhu Nityananda. Sri Advaita Gadadhara. Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamahyam Dadati Sroprakantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Chadrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabindhu Jayapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Mancha Kalpataruvasya Kripa Sindhu Cha Patitanam Pavani Vaishnavibhyo Namo. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Our session dedicated to our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. We seek blessing of Srila Prabhupada. Because of Srila Prabhupada's mercy, that we all have this opportunity to hear, read about Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and today we are going to discuss some important principle about supreme control. So, before we begin, how many of you have attended at least, now this is the 8th session, right? How many of you have attended 8th session? All 8th session, including today? No. 7. You attended 7. 6. You attended 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. You attended. Including today's earlier. This is 2nd. And who is coming first time today? So, your name please? So, how did you come to know about our program?
Today actually is my Bengali New Year, so I didn't know about the program.
Oh, just you happened to be here. Okay, so wish you a very Bengali Happy New Year. So, it is as per lunar calendar or solar calendar? Okay. Because as per the lunar calendar, we celebrated Ugadi, right?
It's a solar calendar for Tamil Nadu.
That's a 14th April. Today is a 14th. Yeah, I think, yeah. So it's a solar calendar then. It's the same for Tamil also, so they celebrate the same. Okay, so now if except Prabhu 7, 6, most of you are new and some of you are even coming first time.
First time, same reason.
Yeah?
New year we came here.
Oh, okay. Okay, so before we start, we sought blessing of Srila Prabhupada. You can come a little forward, go distance like that. If you want to take a support back, it's okay, no problem. But those who are young, they can come. It's much better. Why do we seek, before we started the program, we sought blessing of Srila Prabhupada. Why should we seek a blessing of somebody?
Follow Guru Parampara.
Follow Guru Parampara.
We seek their blessings so that we progress on the spiritual path.
We seek their blessing so that we progress on our spiritual path. Yes, Mataji.
I wanted to say the same thing.
Oh, you wanted to say something. आप कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं? You want to say something?
No.
Here. So we seek a blessings for things. Maybe one of the reasons to get the blessings from Guru Parampara. But the other important aspect is that we are seeking the blessing that whatever we are going to do, that we act as we are doing this as a service to Srila Prabhupada. And it's not that something that we are doing independent of Srila Prabhupada. So we wanted to seek a blessing that we act as a transparent medium between what Srila Prabhupada wanted to give his knowledge, teaching. So that is why we seek the blessings, and that is our Vedic culture, that's Indian culture. Any activity that we begin, we always seek the blessings of Krishna, we seek the blessing of elders, parents. It's a good culture. So it gives a confidence that behind us there is a blessings for us, and whatever the activity that we are going to do, with their blessings, with our endeavor, is going to be successful. So seeking blessing is a very wonderful aspect in Vedic culture. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will not know who is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says that if you remember Lord, even if whatever the tough work, tough task, that it becomes very easy. But if you forget the Lord, even if easy task become very difficult to execute, just by remembering. So you can imagine how much important is that we always seek blessings, whatever it could be. You see that if you go to Ganesh Mandir, that every evening, especially Saturday evening, you will see a lot of people are offering vehicles to Lord, right? So why they are offering that? Seek blessing. And this instrument, whatever Lord you have given by your mercy, that I am offering to you first, and then I will use as a service in my services. So that is what is so it's a very wonderful aspect of Vedic culture where we offer everything. So we have already gone through 7 sessions. So probably except Santosh Prabhu, most of you may not have the secret of happiness, key to success, how to overcome suffering. When we go to our office area or wherever we are working, what is the art, how do we execute the work? Then do we need a guide in our life? That we discussed. If yes, what should be its characteristics? Or can we go to anyone and anybody and seek his guidance? Then how do we balance our life? Because our life, we have many aspects to be balanced. Our duty, what we are performing as a father, as a husband, as a mother, as a employer, whatever could be that. So how do we perform that plus our other services? And on top of that, how do we engage into our supreme duty? So we have our Swadharma and we have Paradharma. So what is the Swadharma and Paradharma? Swadharma. Swa means self. Dharma means duties, activities, or whatever is that. Or Prabhupada translates it's our just like a sugar. The sugar dharma is a sweet. Water dharma is to quench thirst. So that is cannot be separated from one's. So similarly, living entity's duty, the paradharma is actually the paradharma talks about that, which cannot be separated from him. And what is that which cannot be separated from supreme entity, so the living entities? Service to Lord. Jivere Swarupa hai Krishna eva Nitya Das. We are always a servant of Krishna. And how long? Nitya, always. Not only on Ugadi day or New Year or anything, but we are always eternally servant of Krishna. And that's such an important aspect. If we understand that and apply in our life actually becomes very sublime, very blissful. But somehow or the other, because of so many years of conditioning in this lifetime and previously many lifetimes, we are used to use our life as enjoyer, and which is not a compatible situation. For example, if a fish, where is the fish compatible? In water. If you take the fish out of water, the fish, no matter what you give, he is not happy. You see that he is actually struggling, because that is not his the actual position. So similarly, for all of us as a living entity, our real situation that we are the servant of Krishna, and we should act in that situation. But if we do not act, or if we act anything other than that platform, we are nothing but the fish out of water. No matter what you do. For example, the fish, if you give money, dapu, or anything, that will the fish be happy? No. In today's climate, anything, drink or whatever is that, if you give cold drinks or if you put in AC, it's a hot weather now. So will the fish be happy there? No. Because that is an incompatible situation. So similarly, for all of us as a living entity, and that is where Prabhuji and many of you have some experience in our life, maybe 20 years, 30 years. For us, maybe little more experience, both of us, and Madam also, Mataji also. So we can understand that, and we have seen from ourselves, we have seen from other people in life. Many people have many things in their life that we couldn't even dream of, but still that satisfaction, the inner satisfaction is missing. And that is where we should inquire that there are people who are topmost rich, ultra rich, still they seem to be not happy, something missing. There are people who have name, they have follower, they have fame, and there is everything that we think that we can make us happy, but still there is something missing. Right, bro? And that is where we as whatever the experience that we have, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, we can understand that there is something missing. And that something missing is that we are actually not on our actual platform. And the actual platform is only to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. Bhagavad Gita, Lord Sri Krishna said, Mamai Amse Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatan. In 15.7, he says that we are eternally part and parcel of Krishna. Mamai Amsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatan. Again he is using the word Sanatan. Sanatana means eternal. So we as a follower of Sanatan Dharma, which is eternal Dharma, so it's not temporary. It's not that 5,000 years ago we started this Dharma. Before that what happened? Those people who born before 5,000, there was no Dharma? There was a Dharma. So Sanatan Dharma was there. So now the part and parcel, how do we define the part and parcel? Krishna says, Mamai Amsha, we are the Amsha of Lord Sri Krishna. So the Amsha, just like for example, this hand is an Amsha of this body. So this hand has to be used in the service of body. If I cut off this hand and then separate it, will that work its to functionality? No. The functionality of the hand is there when as long as it connected to the body. So similarly, as a part and parcel, as Amsha of Lord Sri Krishna, we are actually utilizing our functionality to the fullest extent only when we are connected to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And how do we connect to the Supreme Lord? Serving Him, reading about Him, hearing about Him, glorifying Him, spreading His mercy spreading His glories to the people. So that is how, just like when college student or the young student, when they are in their room, they will put their hero's photo or Bollywood hero or cricket star. Why? Because someone that you like, you always wanted to hear about him, discuss about him, talk about him, whomever you meet, you talk about them. And that is how you develop attachment for him. So similarly, how can we develop attachment for the Supreme Lord? By talking about him, discussing about him, chanting his name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then we discussed about, am I in a control? I think that I am in control of every situation. But just you go out and you will see that there is nothing in your control. We are absolutely helpless. And not only we as an individual, not as a society, as India, but the whole world experience that we are not in control. When? Corona time. A small tiny virus creating such a havoc. Medical science, any other scientists, they are completely helpless. They do not know how to counteract the virus called as a corona. Then we can understand that I am not in a control situation. And today we are going to discuss about the Supreme Controller. And finally next week we will talk about the ultimate perfection. Any questions so far? We are not even started. So what we are going to discuss? Supreme Controller. So the concept of boss, everybody wants to be boss. It's very nice, right? So enjoyable, so pleasing, so nice to boss. Now once we understand who is that supreme boss, then we understand his characteristic. Is he a person or some impersonal light? Is there a many God or there is only one God? What does scripture talk about him? And if that Supreme Lord is a God, why is so attractive to all of us? Even after many years, after 100 years, 1000 years, 2000 years, 5000 years, after that we are still discussing about him, talking about him, reading about him, chanting his glories. Still we are not tired of anything. What is so special? What is so unique about him? If you take a newspaper, which is now very rare, since the digital world that we are in. So if you take the newspaper on the morning, everybody is hooked to the newspaper because there is something fresh. The same newspaper next day doesn't give that same taste that the previous day that it has given, because it lost that charm. In the cricket, when once upon a time when I was young, I used to follow cricket and that time was Sunil Gavaskar, Sachin Tendulkar, Kapil Dev. Now they are nowhere. Then came Sachin Tendulkar's era, then came Saurav Ganguly's era, then धोनी जी आ गए, उसके बाद विराट जी आ गए, और उसके बाद गिल is there now. So now we keep forgetting the people will come to the limelight for some time they stay. But what is so special about this personality who is there from last 5000 years? Many people are actually talking about him, discussing about him. Many scriptures are written, people are discussing. Still they are not tired. And there is some magic in his name that people, Prabhupada would always say that so what, as a follower of Srila Prabhupada, we are chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, when he went to US, he would ask his followers or those who are from the US foreign nationals, so can you chant Pepsi, Pepsi, Pepsi? And now they said that if you chant Pepsi one time, two times, you will get tired. But when you chant Krishna's name, you keep still chanting Krishna, 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 and you will never get tired. And that is the magic of Lord Sri Krishna. So what is so attractive, so unique about that Supreme Lord? And then of course we will end with some practical tips. So when we talk about boss, what is that comes to your mind? First thing or last thing or second thing, third thing? What does come to your mind?
Who is managing us?
Who is managing us?
Authority. Authority.
Authority.
Controlling.
Who is controlling us? Very good. But of course, along with the controlling, they also do exploiting. Authoritative. Exactly, you said that. Nice. And shouting, yelling at, rude. So somehow or the other, when the term comes with this negative connotation, the word that boss does not like to be very pleasing situation, very happy situation, where somebody is there to consider us very considerable, who is there behind us, even if there is some problem, he's supporting all of us. But with this kind of general image, what we see exploiting, authoritative and rude, doesn't seem to be very positive connotations where we want to connect with him or discuss with him something. So, and we can see that there is always a constant now. When we understand that kind of concept, then many of us or every one of us would like to become a yes or no? Mataji said yes. Yes, everybody, whether we say here openly or no, we would like to become a boss. And wherever we are, maybe as a father, as a mother, as a boss in an office or wherever, we definitely would like to see. But in current era, you can see there's so much of constant competition to become boss. And then exploitation, leg pulling, insecurity, inferiority complex, superiority complex and whatnot, career growth and so many other things there where everybody is trying to reach that position. But unfortunately, there are only 11 Indian cricketers, but we have 140 crore people are there who is aspiring to become into that 11. But fortunate are those who actually get into that, but not everybody. So, everybody wants to be boss, and of course, but when we see that boss, somehow or the other we feel that the word boss does not like. So why you want to become a boss? Why people want to become boss?
We will get some power, so
We get power, we can control. It feels nice to have control, right? If I ask Prabhu, do that and he does, wow, so nice. Control, I can control one person. What else?
get service that
Get the work done. So I have some work to be done and then somebody should be there at my disposal so that I ask him and the work gets done. To become a power center and the enjoyer. There is some enjoyment, right? The magic of chair. You would have the magic of chair. Everybody would like to be there. But what if we are not in a boss situation? Being subordinate or to the supporting to the boss is not very, does not appear to be very good term or not to be in that good situation. Because servant is not the word of right. We cannot put on our Insta or Facebook or WhatsApp or something that I am a servant of servant of servant of servant. No. But our Vedic scripture says that Gopi Bharaturu Padakamal Dasa 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 Anu Das. Our mood should to become a servant of servant of servant of servant of servant of servant, those who are servant of Lord Sri Krishna. But the today's word, the boss is that trying to exploit, trying to take advantages. But the real leader is the one who empowers the individual. What do you mean by empower? Make him grow. Very wonderful. Make him grow.
enabling.
Huh?
Enabling.
Enabling him so that he can make his progress towards his higher vision, higher goal. Very good. Any other thought from Mataji side? Empowerment. We will see lot of days nowadays, lot of times woman empowerment. right? Mahila Sashaktikarana. So this empowering women, so enabling them so that they become equal or so-called independent of that, so that they can do that. So empowerment. Is there any person who can actually the real leader, real empowerment of not only one person but for all the living entity? And who is that supreme controller? If you have to define that person, what could be his characteristics? How he would like, how he should be, how he would be.
Empathetic.
Huh?
Empathetic.
He should be empathetic. There is a difference between sympathy and empathy. What is the difference between sympathy and empathy?
Empathy means to understand the human beings,
Sympathy means
show pity to someone.
that could be empathy. Sympathy, that could be sympathy. Empathy means putting ourselves in their shoes and understand that what kind of difficulties or the challenges that they are going through that. And but as outsiders, now many times you see that so many news and all things, somebody got accident and they got injured. Do we really feel for them? No. But when our near and dear one something happens, we just scratch, the whole sky actually fall down, right? So we can understand because that there is empathy for that. We are able to connect to that. What else? How do you see that he is the supreme controller? How do you understand he is the supreme controller? What could be his definition, characteristics of the person to become a supreme controller? If you have to define your good name, sir? Raja. I had one colleague, his name was Venkata Narayanan Raja, V Raja. What is your, which Raja you are?
Easy Raj.
KG Raja. Okay. Rajaji Solunga. So what is that? How will you define that? Who is that supreme controller?
Taking care of each and everyone.
He is the one who is giving the first definition, that he is the one who can take care of everyone. Okay? Yes, bro. How do you define the supreme controller? He should be able to control Bangalore AECS layout only. Yes, bro. You have something to say? Yes. Who can control the whole universe? Very good. From Mataji side? Yes, Mataji. Boli. How can who you think can be a supreme controller?
Everything is well planned, no mistakes. Like in phone, we are getting every time new persons. But human being, we never saw like, okay, now with 3 hands or 4 hands people should come.
He is perfect in his activities. There is no version. Have you heard about Bhagavad Gita 1.1 and then now Bhagavad Gita 2.0 and in the future Bhagavad Gita 3.0? No. The same Bhagavad Gita which was given once by Lord, the same Bhagavad Gita is applicable. It was applicable yesterday, it is applicable today and even more tomorrow. So it's the same because Lord's knowledge is perfect. It's perfect. Because there is no any room for any improvement. Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta. Om Purna Madam Purna Midam. He's complete, he's perfect. Bhagavad Purana says Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta. He's perfect. Okay, let us see from Bhagavad Gita, because we are discussing about Bhagavad Gita. There is a shloka from Bhagavad Gita 5.29. He says that Akanksha is Shanti Vrichati. So maybe you can follow, you can also recite Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Surudam Sarvabhutanam Jnatva Mam Shantim Richati. Now here, the person who is the supreme controller, his definition is given by whom?
Krishna.
By Krishna, Lord himself. Where did he give this instruction? In Bhagavad Gita. How many shlokas are there in Bhagavad Gita?
700.
Rajaji, தெரியுமா? 700 shlokas are there. So there is a quiz tomorrow. Next time when you come, how many shlokas are there in the glory? And how many adhyayas are there? Chapters are there? 18. Perfect. So we have 18 adhyayas, 18 chapters, spanned over 18 chapters. The 700 shlokas are there. So one of the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is one of the smallest chapter, along with 12 chapters and then 15th chapter. This is a small chapter, just 29 shlokas. This is the last shloka of the 5th chapter, where Lord says, Bhoktaram. Bhoktaram means Bhokta, enjoyer. He is the enjoyer of all the things. Yajna tapasa. Whatever the sacrifice you are doing, we all are doing, he is the enjoyer. Not only that, so what does it mean? If you see the real enjoyer in Bangalore, everybody is doing so much of sacrifice. Going from his home to the office itself is a big sacrifice. If you get stuck into the traffic, gone, we do not know how much time it will take. So moving in Bangalore is a big sacrifice. Forget about Bangalore. Aces layout, this main road to cross to reach their Ganesh Mandir itself is a big sacrifice. So many vehicles and so it's a sacrifice. But who is the real enjoyer? So many times as a living entity we go through so many sacrifice, going through study for 18 hours, 19 hours, 10, 12, graduation, post-graduation, PhDs, then job working from 9 to 6 hours, 9 to 6 morning, evening 6 o'clock. Then we think that we are doing so much of trouble, difficulties, but I don't think that I am the real enjoyer. There is someone else who is really enjoying all those things. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the real enjoyer of everything is who? Lord himself. Bhoktaram yajna tapasa. Whatever yajna, the austerities, tapascharya, the yajna, the sacrifice and the austerities that one does, he is the bhokta. Not only that he is a bhokta, he is a sarva loka maheshwaram. So what does it mean? Sarva loka maheshwaram.
Swami, Swami Loka Swami.
Sab logo ka swami.
In all the realms, the Lord of all the realms.
Lord of all the. What is your name? Mahesh. What is Mahesh? What does it Mahesh means? Lord Shiva. Okay. Isha means controller. So Maheshwara, that is Mahesh, the realm, the master of everything. Sarva Loka Maheshwara. Loka means all the planetary system. Not only the Bharat Bhumi, but all the planets. And who is the master of all those planets? The Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. And not only that, Surudam Sarva Bhutanam. Surudam Sarva Bhutanam. Sarva means all. Bhutanam means Bhuta means ghost. All living entities. Living entities. Sarva Bhutanam. Surudam Sarva Bhutanam. He is in everybody's heart. Surudam Sarva Bhutanam. He is the well-wisher of all the living entities. Not only the Bangaloreans, not only the Indians, not only this earthly planet, not the human beings, but all the living entities under his whole cosmos creation. He is the well-wisher. Is there any other person who can claim that he is the master of everything? He is the enjoyer of everything. He is the controller of all the planets. And not only that, he is the well-wisher of all the living entities. And who is that person? And that is why he is called as the supreme controller. We cannot even control our own body. Once one person came to Srila Prabhupada, 1960s, to the United States, and he said, Swamiji, I am the God. Swamiji said, give him 1 liter of water. And then they made, Srila Prabhupada's disciple made him drink 1 liter of water and asked him to sit here. And you know what happened? Once you take 1 liter of water, what will happen? There will be urge to go and that. And then after a few minutes he said, I have to go to sleep. No, you are God, right? Well, how can, can't you control yourself? No, please, I am not God, let me allow and go. So, this is very simple example. We show that we are not even controller of our own body. What to talk about other living entities? What to talk about our son, daughters, our husband and wife? Sometimes earlier days because we can control, but today you cannot even control our own son and daughter. You ask all mother and parents, they are smiling. Right, mothers? It's so difficult. So, and now knowing that such a person, Gnatva means gang, knowing him. It's word. It comes from the root word from Gnatva. Gnatva mam means me. By knowing me, Shantim Ruchati, you will attain the peace. So if you understand that such a person who is a Bhoktara Mekyata Prasad, who is a Bhokta of all the austerities, Sarva Loka Maheshwara, he is the controller of all the planets, and Srudam Sarva Bhutanam, and he is the well-wisher of all the living entities. By knowing such person, you will attain the peace. And this shloka is called as a peace formula. So if you want to attain the peace in a life, we should understand that supreme control. Can you read the translation? Mataji, one of the Matas.
A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries.
So the person who understands he is the supreme lord, he will attain the peace. Actually, a lot can be discussed only on this shloka, but we have to move on. So, how can one understand? How can one attain peace by knowing that he is the supreme lord? Just one couple of points, quick, or maybe 2-3 points, and we'll move on. How can we attain peace? By knowing that he is the supreme controller, is the supreme enjoyer.
Providing service to him.
So, providing service to him. Okay, very good.
Always chanting his name.
By chanting his name, yes, Prabhu.
We don't think anything about our problems and all. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we think that he is the only controller.
At the end, we will leave to him. Karmanyavadikaraste ma phalesh, put our effort and leave the results to him. Let him do whether he want to give 0 marks or 100 marks, up to him. Very good. And when we understand that, what is the problem that we will leave? I mean, we will have to face that. There will be no problem. So there are two things. Knowing shloka, I can come here and recite the shloka, but realizing the shloka is the next step. And when we realize that is what will actually happen, what we are actually saying. You have something to say? Yes, Mahesh.
So basically, all your karmas go off by praying. All your bad sins goes off by praying to the Lord, which makes you again moksha.
Moksha. Peaceful. Wonderful. Lot of things he's talking about. There is a shloka in Bhagavad Gita, practically the last instruction by Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, 18.66. Sarva dharman pariteja mam ekam sharanam bhaja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshaya sivi masucha. Where is your Amma Appa? Appa? He did not come. He's watching IPL. Is it? No. Amma is giving hands. So, when we surrender to Krishna, we will actually be free from all kind of sins and will attain. Okay, that's a good point. Any other points? How do we attain the peace? Prabhu said, good point, controller. He said, nice point, that what is that to take any anxiety? He is the controller of everything.
By completely surrendering.
Completely surrender. There is nothing that we can do. We have no other choice but to surrender to Him. But when we surrender to Him on His term, not on our terms. We surrender to God on our term, and our term is that, oh God, whenever I come to you, you give me whatever I want. And whenever I pray to you, you should immediately answer my prayer, no matter wherever you are. And you should give attention to me. And of course, Krishna does answer his prayer, our prayer, but on his term, not on our term. And why not on our term? Huh?
Because
He knows the best. For example, Mahesh is crying for a chocolate. Assume that you are taking, I hope you may not be taking chocolate. And then he's crying, and then comes to Amma. And then Amma, what is he asking? He's asking chocolate. Now from his point of view, the best satisfaction, the highest happiness is to eat chocolate. but mother knows what is the best for him. She said, no, don't take chocolate. Then he will cry for that, right? So now, so mother knows what is best for him. So similarly, we tiny living entity living in Bangalore, ACS lab, we think that we know everything. What we know? We do not know anything. We do not even know what will happen next, what is happening within our body. So he knows the best. So leave to him, he will do. So when we pray to Krishna, just some side detour here, when we pray to Krishna and say that you do, this is exactly you should do for me. So what does it mean? It means we are thinking that he doesn't understand and I know better. Right? Have you ever thought that? This is how we actually pray to Krishna, and you should solve my problem this way only. Because I know the best. You do not know anything. But he is the one who knows everything. Okay? Everything belongs to him. You can see all those things. So there is nothing that. So when we say the Lord loves us, so when you say that Lord loves, just like in the material world, what is the best example of unconditional love? Mother's love to things. So now for example, if Mahesh was a small child and he got up at 1:30 a.m. and Amma said give a slap to him. Does that Amma does? No. What does she do? She will say, Baba, what happened? And then she will feed milk or whatever is that. Because love means service. And the best example in this material world is that of mother to that things. So the unconditional love means that whatever Mahesh will do, Amma will not endorse that. But whoever that, but Mahesh is always my son, right? And that is the love. So the unconditional love doesn't mean that, oh, I will do all nonsense and God will approve that. No. But whatever I do for God, I am always his Ansha. Just like for a mother, Mahesh is always a son. No matter tomorrow, may this Mahesh become, what is your desire? What do you want to become? Huh? Scientist. So now, down the line, maybe 20 years down the line, Mahesh become a scientist and maybe in ISRO or something launching Chandrayaan 5.0. And then Amma, for Amma, is still a Mahesh, a small child, right? No matter what happens, that is the love. So similarly, if in this material world, if a father or mother can extend a love, what would happen to that Supreme Lord, who is the Surudam Sarvabhutanam? He will be always loving all of us. Right? Anybody has any doubt on that? And that's why he is the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So the Supreme Lord is always loving us. Now, next question is that God a person or impersonal light? What do you think? Person. Man is saying person. So why do you say he is a person? And good answer. I am not interrogating, but just to get your thoughts so that we will discuss. What is it?
She's like, whenever we are in trouble, to help us, he always comes in a form of a person, not in his own original form, to help us.
Okay. So you are saying that if there is any reciprocation should happen. Now we are talking about love. Now if you have to have love someone, he must be a person, right? You cannot go to somewhere and say that I love you or I surrender to you, please, and we pray to him. And so God is a person or impersonal. So man is saying that he must be person because of something. Any other thought? What is it? Impersonal. Okay. What is that you think that God is not a person? Why do you think that God is not a person?
Being a God, being a person, we don't have that virtues like God has. Like what makes in a God, he has some virtues, like some qualities that we don't possess those qualities.
Okay.
Yeah, Janam, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. All the persons are having those four things. Janam, Mrityu, Jara,
Jara, Vyadhi.
But God is above
all those things.
everything.
Yes, Rajaji, solunga.
God is server Vyapti. So
God is,
server Vyapti everywhere. So cannot be a person.
he cannot be person, okay?
So he has to be a whole. But to connect to ourselves, right, our personality, we are individual. We make a personal face so that we can easily connect.
Yes, Mahesh.
He is in all forms. Like in the story of Prahlad, he's everywhere he sees Lord Sri Krishna or Lord Vishnu, and that is the unconditional.
Okay. So we got at least 3 answers saying that Lord is impersonal. And then couple of thoughts from ma'am and here saying that God is a person. Any other thought? Or God is personal and impersonal both?
That's what I say.
That is what you said.
It's impersonal. To make ourselves as a person, we have to.
Okay. Is he person or his energy? Okay. I want to address or discuss one point that Prabhu said that if he is a person like us, then because we have a limitation and the God cannot be limited. Now this is our understanding that when we say God is a person, we are thinking that his body is made of like Pancha Mahabhuta. And what is that shloka from Bhagavad Gita? 7.3. What is that? Ashta Bhinna Prakriti Ashtada. Bhumir Apo Analo Vai Kham Mano Buddhi Recha Ahankara Itiyam Me Bhinna Prakriti Ashtada. So our body is made of earth, water, fire, air, ether. When we die, our body is burned or buried, whatever is that. When we are here, we cannot be at home. I do not know what's happening, somebody's there. Forget about somebody, I do not know what's happening within that body. So when I have this body, I have a limitation. So then I think that if Lord has the same body, he will also have limitation. But who said the Lord has the same body? Lord Brahma says Lord's body is not like our body. His body is Ishwaraha Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. Vigraha means form. Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So his body is not like earth, water, fire, air, ether, but his body is made. Now this Brahma Samhita, this prayer what we are singing is the prayer by Lord Brahma Samhita is composed by Lord Brahma, and he is actually praying that you are a Sat, you are a Chit, and you are a Ananda. Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Sachidananda Vigraha. So your body is made of eternity, knowledge, and bliss, and that is where is the difference. For us, our body is not made of Sachidananda Vigraha. Our body is made of earth, water, fire, air, ether. If Lord, when Narad Muni, when he went to Dwarka and he visited Dwarka, and in Dwarka, Lord is in his Aishwarya form, and he went to there. How many queens did Lord have there? Had there?
16,108.
16108. 16,108 queens. And Lord has how many palaces he had?
16,108.
16,108 palaces. For every queen, he had one very big. We cannot even in Bangalore. If you have to own 30-40 or 50-40, you don't know how much loan you have to take. But the Lord owns, and he had so many palaces there. Not only that, he had a unique palace for every individual queen. He himself was expanding himself into each queen. So Naradji goes to the first queen, then Lord, and along with that queen he is doing something, then he goes to the another palace and another palace and another palace and another palace. The Lord is actually exactly doing something separately, differently from his. So because Lord can expand himself in a multiple things, but he has a form. Because I cannot be here at the same time watching IPL. Either I can watch IPL or I can be here, right? But Lord can do multiple things. He can be in a Vaikuntha, he can be in a spiritual world, and he can be in the material world also. So when we say Lord, is because why he has to be person. I will tell the other way. We are the creation, right? We are the creation. We are actually created by him. So if creation has a body, Sisi Gandhavika Giridhari ki. If a creation has a body and the God is the source of everything, he must also have a body. If he does not have a body, then he cannot be God, because he cannot be the source of my body. If I have something and he does not have, that means we are actually limiting the God. So God has a form which is Satchidananda Vigraha. At the same time, God can be impersonal. And any example, if you want to give that, let's take the example of that. What is this? Sun rays. Now, is the sun rays? Sun is a person, or sun is a impersonal? Sun is a personal. How do you say is a person?
It has a form.
It has a form, and we offer prayer to him, right? Surya Namaskar. That today everybody, if we do not know anything, at least we all know that there is something called as Surya Namaskar, which helps us to improve our thing. So that means we are offering Namaskar. How can you offer Namaskar to light? That means he must be a person. So, but what is here? Light. So just like Surya Dev is actually present everywhere through his light. So similarly, Lord is present everywhere, and that was the shloka that actually here in Bhagavatam we say that Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdate. The supreme tattva, the absolute truth, can be realized in three ways. The absolute truth, the supreme truth can be realized in three ways. What are the three ways that you can realize the absolute truth? Param Satya. The first thing that Bhagavatam said, Brahmeti, Brahman. Just like the sun god is actually spread everywhere through his light, similarly, Supreme Lord is spread everywhere through his effulgence, and that effulgence is called as Brahman. The next aspect of the supreme truth can be realized as a Paramatma. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti shabdate. So the next is the Paramatma, which is situated in everybody's heart. Sarvascha chaham Rudisanni Vishnu Matah Smurtir Jnanam Apohanam cha. And the last and the highest realization of that supreme truth is Bhagavan. And that Bhagavan as having the form which is made of Sat, Chit and Anand. So this Param Satya can be realized by Brahman, it can be realized by Paramatma, and it can be realized, the final and the topmost realization is Bhagavan. And in that Bhagavan realization, with the light, can you exchange love? Light through Brahman, can you exchange love? If you have to exchange some reciprocation, that must be a form, that must be a person. So Brahman, Paramatma, and the topmost is Bhagavan, where Mother Yashoda is trying to bind that Krishna, and Krishna is actually crying. That same Lord Krishna is becoming the chariot driver of Arjuna. He is reciprocating with his devotees. So when there is a reciprocation, there must be a person, there must be a form. But there is a difference between our form and his form. Our form is limited because we have not heard, we have not experienced, we have not read anywhere, including Google, that I can be here and simultaneously somewhere. So I think If I give a form, if I hear that the God has a form, I impose my limitation of having a form unto that Supreme Lord, and I think that it cannot be possible for a Lord to have a form, because I have a limitation. If I have a limitation with having a form, if he has a form, then he must be limited. He must have a limitation, and if he has a limitation, he cannot be God. So here, if you see, this is the mountain. From the distance, if you look like a very green, and when you come closer and closer and closer, what you will see? That you will see that more clarity. There are trees, there are rocks, and then when we enter inside, we can see that there are living entities, there are cows and all those things. So similarly, the Brahma, Surya Dev also, when we see from just like morning, we can just see the sun rays. The sun rays, then there is a planet Surya Dev, and then there is a person Surya Dev. So just like there is a Surya Dev, there is a sun rays, there is a his planet, and then there is a person Surya. So similarly, Param Satya, there is a race called as Brahman, there is a Paramatma in everybody's heart, and then there is a Bhagavan. Is it clear? Anybody still has any doubt or questions? Yes, Mahesh.
Paramatma and Bhagavan is the same thing.
Just like a Surya and Surya rays, they are different. The sun and the sun rays are the same or different? Can sun rays exist without sun? No. So that means the rays cannot exist without sun. So similarly, Brahman and Paramatma have no existence unless there is a Bhagavan. Does that help?
They both mean the same thing.
They both mean the same thing. But just like from the far distance, if you see first rays, sun rays, is that the complete understanding of the sun? No, it's a partial understanding of the sun. Now when you come closer, then you see, oh, he's a sun god. Then it's a complete understanding. So similarly, when you see Param Satya, you may understand his existence everywhere. Like, is there any place where there is no God? It's there everywhere. So that understanding is the first aspect, which is Sarvajna, Sarvatra, omnipotent, omniscient, who is everywhere. So that is the aspect of that, but that aspect of the Lord cannot come without the person as person Lord there. So both are same, but this is the initial understanding or the partial understanding of the absolute truth. The complete understanding is that there is a sun god, he has a planet, and that on that planet there is something called sun god Vivaswan. You know that? There is a sun god as a Vivaswan. So that Vivaswan is a sun god, and through him all the light, heat and light is actually spread all over the things. This is very interesting as well as challenging to understand initially. Just to pause here for a few minutes, and I think we are also ending and we are crossing our time. We are supposed to end by 7 o'clock, but we can give some time because we started by 15 minutes late, so we can give some grace period. If you have any question here, we can take that question, and otherwise we'll continue this part next time. Yes, Mahesh.
They say in the scriptures that Shakti gives birth to Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, and the Brahma gives birth to Lord Shiva. So then isn't Shakti supposed to be the supreme?
His question is that is the Shakti supreme to things. So now when you say Shakti, what is the next thought to come to your mind? Shaktiman, right? If there is a Shakti, there must be someone who possesses that Shakti. When you say nature, his nature is good, but whose nature? Somebody's nature. Shakti, whose Shakti is that? So Lord says in Padma Purana and Vishnu Purana, Lord possesses uncountable, immeasurable Shaktis. He is the source of that Shaktis. Because just like for example, there is a creation implies Creator. If there is a laws implies lawmaker. If there is some law, somebody would have put that law, right? If there is what else can be given? A design. If there is a watch, then there is someone behind that watch. Even if there is artificial intelligence, but there is someone behind that artificial intelligence who is actually putting that into that. So when all those things shows that in the whole universe, when we seeing that all those things are going so systematically, after winter there is a summer, after summer there is a winter, sun is rising every day. Did someone someday say that no, I will not rise, and there is a chaos in the things? Did you see anything? Suddenly something happened and this building was created. No, if this building is there, so that implies that there is someone who is, that's some intelligence. And if there is some intelligence implies intelligent person. Without that intelligent person, there is no intelligence. Right? So, I think we'll move on. There is a shloka from that Bhagavad Gita. Brahmano hi pratisthaham. Pratishtha means the foundation. The foundation of the Brahman is actually I am. So Lord says that. So Brahman, the all effulgence, all everywhere, the omniscient and omnipotent existence of the Lord is actually on me. So we'll discuss this maybe next time, this aspect of Supreme Controller. So I think it is a time to pause here now. If there are no other questions, are there any other questions than Mahesh questions from Mataji's side? Prabhu side. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to know, like, I believe in God, but
Sorry, I don't believe in God.
I believe in God.
Okay.
I just wanted to know, like, I'm curious to know that if God is the source of everything, who is the source of God?
Who is the source of God? If God is the source of everything, and who is the source of that God? If somebody else is that source of that God, then he becomes a God. Lord Brahma said, Ishwara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karanam. Because by definition, he is the source of everything. If somebody is the source of his existence, then he cannot be God. So that is called axiomatic theorem. So this axiomatic theorem means that they are truth in them itself. So our scriptures are in truth in themselves. They don't have to take another reference to prove themselves. So this Brahma Samhita says that Anadir. Adi means beginning. Anadi means he has no beginning, and that is why he is called as a Lord. If somebody has, just like for me, I came from my parents, they came from their parents, they came from their parents, they came from their parents, and finally it goes to Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. And then the logical question, then who is the source of him? He is the source of everything. Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanita Bhagavad Gita 10.8. I am source of everything. Aham sarvasya prabho. I am the source of everything. Mattaha sarvam pravartate. From me everything comes. So the Lord, by definition, is the one who is the source of everything. Just like there is a coach S7, S6. S7 is pulled by S6, S6 is pulled by S5, S5 is pulled by S1, then B1, B2, B3, and then finally there is a engine. That engine is pulling. Then somebody says, well, what is the source of that engine? So like this, it just has some analogy. So some analogy. So this is Gandharika Giridhari ki. So the source of Lord is the He Himself. There is nobody some source of that. And if somebody is the source of that, then he cannot be God. Does that clear? I mean, it's difficult to understand because for our logical mind, we always see there must be some source of that. But can there be anything which has no source? Because He's the creator. He's the maintainer of everything. And we saw the shlokas from Bhagavad Gita, which actually clearly define that He is the source of everything.
He is the source of himself.
And that's why the absolute truth is that the Param Sat is that He is the source of Himself. Now then the question is, what is that source coming from there? Is the Lord? That's a good question. But sometimes what happened, Now, something that we have not even, we are under three gunas, sattva guna, raja guna, tamo guna. We do not even know beyond this what happens, how is that. We do not know what are the planets and all those things beyond that. And for our nice information, Lord has a creation, and out of his creation, he has a 3/4 of spiritual creation and 1/4 of only material creation. And that 1/4 of material creation, he has unlimited universes. And on that unlimited universe, there is one universe. And on that universe, there are innumerable planets. And in that planet, there is something called earthly planet. On that earthly planet, there are so many things. And then there are so many continents. And the one continent is Asia. In that Asia, there are many countries called the great country called Bharat Varsha, Bharat Bhumi. And on that Bharat Bhumi, there are many states. One state called as Karnataka. And then in that Karnataka, there are many cities, and one city called as Bangalore. In that Bangalore, there are many suburbs, and one suburb called as AESED. And AESED, there are many roads, and one road called as this road. And on that road, there are many buildings, and one building is called 1343 on D block. And then there are many people, and we think that we know everything. Nothing. Srila Prabhupada says the whole creation, this universe, is like a small mustard seed in a bag full of mustards. This whole universe is just like a small seed. Have you ever seen that WhatsApp once? WhatsApp message was there. One person was lying on the ground, and then the zoom, then finally he was a dot on these things. And when when the Lord's creation? Where is he? Where is his presence? Not even a dot. So we can understand that he is the source of everything, because we do not know. We don't even know what's beyond this universe. So we have to rely on our scripture, and this scripture will actually tell us. And that is where this is that Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, Lord Krishna personally is telling that. Okay, I think I am getting signals. The devotees are waiting for all of you to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. We are already crossed 15 minutes past our timing. Thank you very much. Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So what we will do, now we will chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and so you all will be given mala. You know how to do that? Is there anyone coming first time, he doesn't know how to chant? Okay, Rajaji doesn't know how to chant, no problem. We are there to help each other and progress together on our journey to Lord Sri Krishna. So we take this mala, we put our Prabhuji, give to so mala is very sacred, so we don't put on the ground. And then we begin from this middle beat, we don't chant on that. Then we chant from the next beat, and we start clockwise. Every beat we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. There are 100 beats, we chant 108 times. Then, so how do we chant? We use the middle finger and thumb. Hare Krishna, we don't use this finger. Acharya says that this finger is yes. So this is fault finding. You are wrong. We don't use that for that. So we use the middle finger and thumb. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Then we pull ourselves towards inside. So like this, we have to chant 108 times. And you just practice it, and it will be easy for you. And if you have not chanted earlier, just express yourself in this chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Express all your, because this chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is a prayer to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. It is not just a mantra, but it is Maha Mantra. And forget about everything about Bangalore, ACS layout, and when this person will stop, when will I eat prasadam, when will I reach home, where there will be traffic jam here, and what prasadam these people will serve. These people, they don't have anything, they are useless people, and they not only they are wasting their time, but my timing also. Just leave aside everything for 10-15 minutes, forget about, and close all our senses, because the senses will give information what the other is doing and all those things. Just dip yourself in calling to Lord, because Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a call, it's a prayer to Lord Sri Krishna, and just immerse yourself in that prayer, and you see that how Lord actually reciprocate with that answer to your prayer. It may not be on our turn, but on His turn. Okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So we'll switch off light so that you will not be able to see anything.